Welcome to a special episode of Hug It Out, Bitch, because I just got back from Tulsa and Chandra has a million weddings. And today we have a very special topic, the Odyssey.
That's not what we're doing.
That's all I want to talk about right now is the Odyssey.
No. We're doing a different movie about water.
Today we're discussing Aquaman, the Aquaman movie that came out in real life and the Aquaman movie that came out in Entourage, and what the fuck that means.
Hello, this is Ben. I am on this episode for real. I'm dressed for the beach because we're going to the beach.
Shut the fuck up. I didn't even go to the beach in Aquaman.
What do you mean?
They do.
They go to the beach nonstop.
But not like in a cool way. Not like in Vince's Aquaman
it's
where he's
the
on
only
Santa
way
Monica
they get
Pier.
out of the ocean.
I know, but they're never
when they get out
it.
of the beach in the Sahara Desert. Cool.
Shut the fuck up. Okay.
Sienna, how do you feel about the film Aquaman? Well, wait, let's go back. We're discussing it because on Entourage,
yes,
Vinny Chase is doing the movie Aquaman.
Yes.
It's a huge part of Entourage. It's like the most important.
It's a real character-defining situation for him and a choice situation for him and the journey to doing Aquaman. And I looked up a little bit about like their journey to doing Aquaman.
From the TV show Entourage?
Yeah.
But we watched that.
No, I mean like...
What do you mean?
I mean like stuff that Doug Ellen said and shit.
Oh. Okay.
They say that it's Rob Weiss. Rob Weiss says, we were always thinking what would be a cool movie that none of us could get made. Aquaman, I have memories of being like, what the fuck does that movie even look like? Do they shoot the whole thing underwater? And then Dan Attias said, I thought it was a joke, frankly. I didn't realize it was a real thing.
For context, when does it come out? It's 2006, 2005 or 2006?
2005.
So Spider-Man's come out.
Yeah.
X-Men's come out.
Yeah.
Superheroes are on the mind of everyone. They're like, that can make you a star.
Not only on the mind of everybody, at this point in time, you know, you have Aquaman, like, he's got multiple different runs in the comics. He has. I looked it up. I looked up the Silver Age one, the Golden Age one, and the Modern Age one.
I don't disagree. I think he's also he's the superhero you point to and be like, well, that's a silly one. They could never really do that. Except
for in the 90s when they started to do a real, like, not a real run, but like a gritty run. Where in the 90s, there's a version of Aquaman who loses his hand and gets a hook hand. And that's when they solidify that, like, he is like a half Aquaman guy, half Atlantean, half human.
But I still feel like even then, it's like Doug Ellen is not thinking about that. Doug Ellen's not reading current comics.
I don't think he is. But in 2004, there was development started on an Aquaman film. After Spider-Man did $1 bajillion, everyone was like, God, what superhero are we going to try to make this? And it lived and it died. And it says it didn't gain traction until Man of Steel in 2013.
It's like how there's a random one-off Hulk. It's like how they kept trying to do Superman, like they had that J.J. Abrams version.
Yeah.
That didn't go anywhere.
So I think Aquaman must have been in the air. They heard that one, and just because it was in the air, and they're like, well, how the fuck do you even do that?
I think... Okay. I don't disagree with you. I think that is all probably true, but I also think, like, they made Aquaman be on Entourage because they were like, that's funny. Like, they thought it was a joke. Like, they lived in a world where, like, it would be the silliest thing if Aquaman was made into a movie, not knowing, 15 years later, it'll make $1 billion.
I think the equivalent is, they think Aquaman's a stupid, silly idea. I think the equivalent is in the studio, the Kool-Aid Man movie. Like, the energy that everyone's like, haha, the Kool-Aid Man movie, but they would do that.
The studio, the TV show.
The studio, the TV show. How that feels to watch now, like culturally, is how in Entourage in 2003 or 2004 or 2005 it felt to hear that Vinny Chase was doing Aquaman and see the silly suit.
It's not like when presented in Entourage, you're like, well, that's stupid.
Yeah.
You're like, that's so dumb. The thing is, if you told me they're making Aquaman, I'd be like, that's stupid. But if you told me James Cameron's making it, I would be like, oh, that's a great idea. He makes water movies.
They say that in the interview stuff I was reading. They're like, well, they're like, should we ask James Cameron to actually come here? And they say, he makes water movies. And they list like Titanic and
The Abyss,
Titanic and The Abyss.
Yeah.
And then they had one of their editors, Tosh John, who knows James Cameron, I guess, they had her reach out to James Cameron. And she was like, I was totally convinced that he would say no, but he didn't. He said yes. He didn't even hesitate. He said, whatever I can get done in a day, I will do. Okay, so the things we know about Vinny Chase as Aquaman. The film stars Vincent Chase as Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, Mandy Moore as Aquagirl, and James Woods as the movie's antagonist Abaddon, a corrupt businessman. Ray Liotta and Sharon Stone co-star as Arthur Curry's parents. It was written by Andrew Kevin Walker with a musical score composed by Steven Jablonsky.
Steven Jablonsky's a great composer. He did the Transformers movies.
They had like a big... So I think in my head... We only really get the posters never show him as Aquaman for Vinny Chase. It's just a big A, and we have one clip that we get to see. Everyone is on Santa Monica Pier, all these random people, and they all run away. And there's a big tidal wave coming, but Vinny is walking in the opposite direction towards the tidal wave, and he's wearing like a tuxedo, and he's slowly taking off the tuxedo with both hands, no claw, as he is approaching the tidal wave. And then right when he goes to jump into it, like there's a heat wave, the movie cuts out. That's all we get to see of the Aquaman. I think I know the plot. So I think the plot of the Entourage Aquaman is I think Poseidon is king. They have a CGI Poseidon. We know that. Those kids are like Aquaman when Vinny Chase is at the theater. If you're here, who's guarding Poseidon's throne? And so they say that to him or whatever. So I think Aquaman is not the king because I think it's like that thing where Vinny Chase is like, I like to be the prince character. You want him to be fun and fleeting. I don't think he's the king. I think he's Aquaman. I think him and Aquagirl are having life and something bad's going on in the ocean. So then he has to go onto land and be like a cool undercover like guy.
Do you think he was getting married?
No.
He was wearing a tux. Why was he wearing a tuxedo?
I think because it's the middle of the movie. They say explicitly, this is half the movie, don't give their money back. So this is the middle of the movie, this is happening. I think he has gone to figure out who's doing something evil in the ocean to like some sort of a gala or something, because I think they're kind of copying the Green Goblin, like he's an evil villain type thing.
That's what it is,
and
you're right.
And he's there, and he's uncovering that James Wood as Abaddon, not a DC character, yes, a DC character as a demon and as a biblical character who's from the Bible, okay? There's no businessman named Abaddon. James Woods has like some sort of thing he's doing in the ocean, and that's the reason he's come onto land, is to figure out what this evil thing in the ocean is. James Woods is probably gonna like flood the world or something and then unflood it and take over because he has business assets or some shit. And so Aquaman's gonna have to stop both of those with Aquagirl, and I think Aquaman is heavily aided by whales and dolphins, because when he has the hook thing, they're like, you can't shoot the whales and dolphins, those are his best friends.
So just to recap, it's like there's an evil businessman and he's gonna do something bad to the ocean, and Aquaman is like a James Bond type who like figures it out and then uses the power of the ocean to fight him.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
I think that's exactly what it is. I think they're really copying Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, which Oscorp is the whole villain and stuff like that. I think even when they say
Green Goblin's the villain.
Yeah, but he
kills the whole board of Green Goblin.
I know,
town.
and I'm sure James Wood and his plan for domination kills the whole board of whatever evil company he's in charge of.
That's true.
And so they're really just trying to, instead of tell Aquaman's story, shape Aquaman's story onto a Spider-Man story.
I think it makes sense. You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Avatar.
I mean, yeah, it reminds me of Avatar too.
I'm like James Cameron. He would make it like that.
Yeah, evil business wants to use nature bad, but one guy is connected to nature and wants to use nature good.
But he's a child of both worlds.
Yes.
And he's like, I use both worlds to talk to both worlds.
It's the reason that he has to go on land and other people can't go on land.
Imagine we got Avatar 3, but it was Aquaman 3. And what happens in Avatar 3?
Avatar 3 is when that lady does all the
That would be like if Ursula showed up. That evil lady from Avatar 3.
Yeah, and she's assaulting everybody. So, you've got the comic book run, you've got Entourage's Imaginary Aquaman, you have an Aquaman movie right before that was discussed and fallen apart. You've got Spider-Man doing well. You have an Aquaman pilot that's a spin-off of Smallville that people loved and you can buy online. That's like Aquaman is like a badass teen who like is really struggling and doesn't know he's like half Atlantean. It's like a Smallville Buffy the Vampire Slayer type thing. What?
But you're presenting all of this like Aquaman has fans. No one cares about Aquaman.
There is a small sect of people who care about Aquaman. They're dedicated.
No one cares about Aquaman.
They are, because I went online and I found this small sect of people who care about Aquaman.
Nobody cares about
They have
this
to
character.
buy. People do.
This is the 7th least important member of the 7 people who are on the Justice League.
And then why was it the most successful version of the DC movies?
Well, I think okay. Between Entourage and the actual Aquaman movie coming out, the Marvel machine takes over. They make it normalized to like do big stupid superhero shit on screen, and you don't have to pretend it's not lame. Like,
I never thought it was lame. So you got
of course, but the people making the movies thought it was lame. They were like, "Do not let the X-Men wear those costumes. They wear cool black leather." They would like.
You've got sexy black leather X-Men is true, and that they do the whole 3-movie run. Then you've got the reboot of the X-Men that they do with First Class between this. Then you have literally all of the first 3 phases of Marvel. It's been a whole world of superheroes in every single way you can imagine them up to this point. And I think that's an important thing to mention too. Aquaman was tested before the Aquaman movie came out. They put a glimpse of him in Batman versus Superman, and then they put him in the Justice League movie. They didn't gamble on a full Aquaman movie until they saw Jason Momoa. And I think Jason Momoa is candidly the only good thing about the new Aquaman.
I don't agree with that.
What the fuck? You don't agree with that? He's
and
the
also,
only good part.
And also, I would say he is the ultimate version of don't let this be lame. I think of him being Aquaman as somebody being like, we have this silly comic book thing. How could we bring this to life on screen and not have it be the stupidest thing ever? Could we find the coolest water guy we know? It's Jason Momoa, right?
Here's the thing, though. I think if Jason Momoa wasn't Jason Momoa and just looked like Jason Momoa, it would be bad. But Jason Momoa brings levity and joy to it. And I don't think it's good because Jason Momoa is a big, strong guy. I think it's good because Jason Momoa brings levity and humor and love and excitement to it when, honestly, it doesn't deserve that.
My favorite part of Aquaman is Orm, the Ocean Master.
His name is Ocean Master, not the Ocean
His
Master.
name is Orm.
He doesn't say, call me Ocean Master.
His name is Orm.
He doesn't say, call me the Ocean Master. He goes, call me Ocean. His villain name is Ocean Master.
His human man name,
no.
not Atlantean.
Idiot. His Atlantean name is Orm.
His name
Dumb
is Orm.
Idiot.
His name is Orm. I mean, everything about Aquaman is stupid. From the comic books all the way to all the movies.
I think there's something good in there. Shut the fuck up.
There is something good in there, but it's never been... Like, I can't point at any Aquaman thing that I think is great, except for...
Jason Momoa.
No, Justice League Unlimited, when they were like... Because they made that Justice League cartoon in the 2000s, and they were like, we're doing the Justice League. We're not going to put Aquaman in the main Justice League because he sucks and we don't know what to do with him. But then he comes in as a cool side character who's really strong, and he has a beard and a harpoon hand.
Yes, which is from the 90s.
And he was like, don't go in the ocean, Superman. I'll deal with you. That was cool.
Those are things pulled out from the 90s. And I think when you look at Aquaman in relationship to Thor, the character makes sense. And I think it took a long time for people to understand that.
I don't like Thor either. Thor sucks.
Number one, fuck you. You know I like Thor.
Thor Ragnarok's good,
It's the best.
but not because of Thor.
No, I think that's the most truest understanding of Thor. It's the least trying to cater to anyone, and somehow is the most trying to cater to everyone.
That to me is the most trying to cater to everyone.
No, because
they were like, what if it's funny?
Yeah, well,
That's
I think
catering.
You shut the fuck up.
If you didn't want to cater to people, you'd be like, Thor matters.
You know, he does matter. He does matter.
He doesn't matter.
Yo, fuck you. You know, I think being funny is more important than anything in the whole fucking world, and should always be the main focus. So shut the fuck up.
He's not as good as Iron Man.
Number one, he's so good.
He's not as good as
the
Hulk.
Fuck up. And the idea,
he's not as good as Black Manta.
The idea of Thor and what it means to be a hero and a king, and Asgard being a people, not a place, and identifying with their false history and their true history. Thor is about what is false and what is true about being a leader. He is the great power thing, but in a very different context.
He's not as good as Black Panther. He's not as good as who are other kings in.
Fuck you.
He's not as good as if Iron Man was president or something stupid like that. When Lex Luthor became president in the comics, that's better than Aquaman.
Yo, shut the fuck up. I like Aquaman. I like a lot of it. And now, here's the thing. I'm sitting here defending Aquaman right now. Let's talk about the Aquaman movie that I hate.
This is what we've been trying to get to for 20 minutes.
The other stuff was really important.
I don't know. Okay.
If you fucking cut any of it, I'll kill you.
You don't think I'm going to cut a little of that?
I'll kill you.
I'm going to cut a good chaff of that.
So now it's time to talk about the Aquaman movie, which I hate. I hate the Aquaman movie because I think it's everything that's wrong with superhero movies. It's about a main character whose goal is to uphold the status quo except for himself, who is doing violence without actually ever having the weight of that violence by a deep avoidance of trying to take out blood from the movie. There's so little blood in the movie. And I think that in that, it just has very clear plot turns that are not generated from character or even plot, and every single time there is a moment for something to have weight, it's not like it's undercut by a joke. That's not even the problem. I wish it was undercut by a joke. The weight of it is taken away by making the violence minimal and being on the coolness of the kill as opposed to the choice of the kill. They kill people in this movie.
We're going to go through the whole movie, right?
Yeah.
So I don't have to go point by point for I don't like what you said.
Yeah.
Ask me how I feel about the Aquaman movie.
No. How do you feel about the Aquaman movie, Ben?
The Aquaman movie is so good.
Shut the fuck up.
It's such a fun, cool movie. It is like the epitome of, hey, we had the stupidest superhero and we're making the stupidest movie for you to enjoy.
No.
And you're going to watch it. We're going to have Mira, all the characters you love, Mira, what is his name? Volko. We have Orm, great villain. We made him look like stupid real Aquaman so you could watch him get the shit beat out of a real Aquaman that you don't give a fuck about.
Black Manta.
Black Manta. We made Black Manta in there. It doesn't make sense, but we put him in there.
We put him in there, and we forgot about him in the middle.
We have great scenes of wine being shot at people in spears. We have great scenes of Jason Momoa saying he could pee on something. You don't have to suck the water out of his body.
I remember the audience in the theater. We saw this in the theaters together.
You have a great shot at the end of the movie where Aquaman jumps out of the water. Cool. You have.
I need to clarify something that you guys don't know about Ben.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Ben.
I'm cutting this out.
No, you better not. Ben hates magic. And he says that people who like In-N-Out are people who believe in magic. And that's annoying. And you know what? I do like In-N-Out, and I do like magic.
Then why? Okay, if you're going to explain what I said, you can't say it in a way that doesn't make sense.
That makes perfect sense. What doesn't make sense about that?
Because... How do you think that makes sense?
The reason that you refuse to take Aquaman seriously is so much of Aquaman is magic and you don't like magic. It's why anything that shits on the magical elements of Aquaman, you're excited about.
I don't think anyone should be taking Aquaman seriously.
I take everything seriously.
I take the part seriously where he's like, we're ruining the ocean. And then the movie is like, The movie's like, we have other things to talk about. This movie is mostly about how your brother... Your half brother, he could be king. That would be bad.
Because then he would do
I don't care about who's a king.
And war would be bad.
But the war would be good. I agree with Orm.
Orm makes so much sense.
Orm is the only person making sense in this whole movie.
That's what I mean. I don't like a superhero movie that functionally exists on upholding the status quo is frustrating to me. I think that's what is so good about that first Iron Man before Marvel comes in. There is blood, there is weight to the actions, and there's a rejection of the status quo. Everything I hate about Aquaman is everything that is bad about superhero movies, but has made superhero movies successful. Like Zack Snyder does everything that's bad about superhero movies, but has made them unsuccessful. But Aquaman has everything that's bad about superhero movies, but has made them successful. I.e., the sanitization of conflict, the sanitization of violence, and the hitting the marks of this that's expected of a story instead of doing something that's actually about that character.
But he doesn't. Zack Snyder doesn't sanitize the violence because in the beginning.
I didn't say Zack Snyder. I'm saying Aquaman.
In the beginning of Dawn of Justice, or Batman vs Superman, Batman is mad because Superman hit that building.
No, that the problem with Zack Snyder's bad. Those are the things that make a bad superhero movie palatable and exciting. The things I said.
Okay.
So like that's like, oh, we're gonna go see a superhero movie and it's a fun weekend.
Okay.
Zack Snyder makes things that are bad about superhero movies that are that I think make a movie unsuccessful. They are like overly serious, inhuman, excessively violent in a fetishy but tragic way, and like deeply unerotically erotic. And these are the things that I like about Zack Snyder superhero movies that I think makes the general public hate them. And they're not fun. But I love that they're not fun.
Aquaman is the most fun. And that's why I like it.
Well, that's why it's a successful superhero movie. It does all this stuff that I think ruins superheroes and abets fascism. Abets fascism.
It's not fascist. No one has blonde hair. The only guy with blonde hair they beat up.
We're going to get into that in a second. So, scene by scene through Aquaman.
And talk about how it's really good. And I don't really understand what you're saying.
You understand exactly what I'm saying.
I don't get what you mean.
What do you mean?
It has violence.
No, it's sanitized violence.
You don't think
I took notes on all the sanitized violence. Don't worry.
When Black Manta's dad dies,
and they show no blood.
I'm okay with
There's
that.
There's no weight of the moment.
It's a movie for kids.
I don't care. Kids should know the weight of violence. I'm not joking.
Okay.
That's why in Superman, what part of what makes James Gunn's Superman great is that guy gets graphically shot in the head and there is blood and it is sad. When they bring the guy who helped Superman get out of the pit to torture Superman to get the information from him.
Oh, they do shoot that guy.
And they shoot that guy in the fucking head and it is jarring.
I'm sorry no one got shot in the head in Aquaman. I thought we were just having fun here. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm sorry, Superman is fun.
Let's get into Aquaman. See, it opens on a pier.
It opens on there's a storm, and Aquaman's dad is a lighthouse guy, and he is trying to close his windows in the stupidest way I've ever seen when he sees a lady in a white jumpsuit laying on the rocks. And it's narrated by Aquaman, who's like, this is how my parents met, and they loved each other. She ran away from an arranged marriage, and my dad loved her. And so she wakes up on the couch.
First off, it's good VO.
It's not good.
It tells the story. You're acting like it's bad, but it is
By the way,
good.
I think actually the core of Aquaman is love and romance and commitment to one another. And I think that's why all the Aquamans have failed, because they really haven't. Everything Aquaman has failed because they have not focused on that. Aquaman is a wife guy. Anyway.
You didn't watch Aquaman 2.
I know.
She's married to him in that.
Yeah.
And they have a kid.
So we see Aquaman's mom, Nicole Kidman, and Aquaman's dad.
He is also Boba Fett. I forget his name.
I know. I want to say Boba Fett. Tamira Morrison. So Nicole Kidman wakes up on the couch and she sees Aquaman's dad and she eats his goldfish and he's like, it's okay, just don't eat my dog. And then they have tea together and she clearly doesn't understand what a cup is, so he shows her what a cup is and then they drink the tea.
Because she's never had to drink a liquid. That's so cool.
Because they live in the water.
She opens her mouth and the liquid goes in.
Yes.
She's like, I'm always hydrated.
And
But
so-
but I don't know how it... Because they don't have gills.
They don't. We go into a snow globe and we watch them fall in love, and his dad has a puppy so we can track time of how long they've been together. So it's a full-grown dog by the time she's pregnant. So you know that they didn't immediately fucking have a baby. And they're holding the baby. This is a full-grown baby at this point in the movie. This bothers me. She's holding it's a baby in her arms. And there's a hurricane coming called Hurricane Arthur. And they should go, we should name this baby Arthur. How long has this baby not had a name? This baby, where was this baby delivered? They were walking around just with a baby with no fucking name. They had no plans. They had the baby and never named the baby until a hurricane came and they named the baby Hurricane Arthur.
Here's the thing. You're acting like this movie isn't silly. It's a silly movie.
But it's not silly on purpose.
It's silly on purpose.
Not for this part. This part's not silly on purpose.
This part's silly on purpose.
It's
The whole
not
movie's silly on
No,
purpose.
the whole
They're
movie's
about to run in with laser beams.
The whole movie's not. That part is very serious.
That part's silly.
It's silly to you because you're making fun of it.
I'm not making fun of it. I think it's a silly, fun movie.
No, because the movie has moments
when
where
when you say these kind of things
the movie has points
to Entourage, I agree.
The movie has points where it's clearly trying to be silly, and those are serious moments.
I don't think there's any parts of the movie that are trying to be serious.
That's so untrue. I think you're a fucking idiot.
My heart. She thinks I'm an idiot because I said Aquaman is silly.
Those parts aren't trying to be silly.
With the okay, let's
Naming
keep going.
the
Let's
baby
keep
Arthur
going.
is supposed to be nice and good.
It's silly.
Yeah, it is silly, but they're not treating it like it's silly.
She just tasted a drink for the first time.
Yeah, that part's supposed to be silly.
She was like, it's the ocean in a little tiny thing.
And then his mom then is holding him as a toddler and is like, there's a magical trident. Is that going to be important later? Yes. And there's stuff going on with that. And then their dog barks at the door. And then the dad grabs Arthur because she knows for some reason. And then high-tech water guards come in. They go, Queen Atlanta, you must return to Atlantis. But then she beats them up with karate. And then he throws her weapon.
Stop. That's the part you think is serious.
Yes.
What you just said, high-tech water guards come
Yes.
in and she beats them up with karate.
It's treated seriously. I don't think it's serious. And I think there's a difference between that and you're being fucking facetious.
I think that the movie is like, hey, things are going to happen in this movie. We're not joking. It's not a joke that it's happening, but it's a silly story.
No. I think they're taking this part dead serious.
No, I think when people watch it, they're like, that was pretty funny and cool.
I think they all think that was cool. And cool to me is serious. Cool is never fun. That's why I
Cool is
hate
fun. Cool can be fun.
No.
Cool can be fun.
No!
Yes. Cool can be fun.
Not in the context that they want it to be cool. Because the whole thing is that they undercut their serious big stuff with silly jokes. So she does sit karate forever, and then he throws her weapon and she can kick ass, and there's no blood as she kicks everybody's ass.
Well, they're made out of water.
Yeah, they're avoiding. It's like my problem with
Whenever they're
it's my problem with Suicide Squad is that they give you a bunch of faceless monster guys who turn to ash in Suicide Squad, so that you don't have to feel bad about the weight of violence, and you can just think about how sick it is someone's getting stabbed. So instead of blood, she stabs a bunch of water guys who explode into water.
the tone of Aquaman is we're having fun here.
Yes.
Expressed through the main character and the rest of the entire movie.
No, only expressed through the main character.
I like the whole movie. I think the tone that Jason Momoa is representing is the movie.
No, it's not. And I think there are clear moments that show that like he brought that, and it's really not supposed to be present in the movie. So then she's like, I gotta go back to Atlantis because they'll always find me, but I'll come back when it's safe. She never comes back. We see Aquaman. He's a little boy on field trip. He's talking to fish at the aquarium. Then these kids are like, he's talking to fish, and they bully him. And then a shark comes and rams into the window, into the glass a bunch, cracking it. And then everyone backs up and they're like, whoa. And then Aquaman's eyes change gold, and we see all the sea creatures of the aquarium backed up behind baby Aquaman and the school looking at him as they play up music, and then the little kid, he smiles.
And then it says Aquaman. That was all prelude. We're not even past the cold open.
No, but also my big problem, I think another interesting point of this is the usage of sharks. I think sharks have been heavily rebranded thanks to Shark Week in the past, 20 years. And that's why I think sharks are like cool now and misunderstood. And that's why there's sharks in this movie so much. And that's why they don't want Vinny Chase to only have sharks behind him, because at the point, sharks were bad guys because of Jaws. But now sharks are misunderstood because of documentaries.
I like half agree with that. I think everyone would always want a shark.
Nope, because it's really clear that they don't want sharks in Vinny Chase's Aquaman.
When do they say that?
When he's shooting, he's practicing using the claw, and he shoots 14 whales and 2 dolphins, and they don't want him to be left with a pod of pissed off sharks, and that whales and dolphins are Aquaman's most important allies.
But I thought he's fighting those sharks.
No.
How do you know?
Because they're saying that a pod of pissed off sharks is his supporters. He's left with. That's all he has in his arsenal.
Okay.
Now we're into the movie. We're on a submarine and some machine guys come in, and they're a father and son, and they're taking over this military ship, and the father and the son are like, whoa. And he's like, I'm so proud of you, son. Here's a knife your grandpa had. He was in the military and they forgot about him, and that's why we scavenge the high seas. And he's like, thanks for this knife, Dad. And then something hits the ship, and they go, did something hit the ship? And he goes, no, someone.
Okay.
How does Aquaman know they're taking over a submarine?
Okay. You just blew over the fact that it's really funny when he tells that funny story.
It's not. They treat it so seriously.
It's in the middle of a
hostile
takeover
of
a submarine.
Military submarine.
Black Manta turns to his dad, who is a co-pirate with him.
He's also not Black Manta yet. His grandfather was Black Manta.
Black Manta. They say in the story, your grandfather was known as Black Manta. He did this cool stuff.
Here's his knife. It's the stupidest story, and they treat it with the most reverence.
Okay, you're like, they treat it with the most reverence. I'm like, it's so funny that the movie dead stopped for him to tell a World War II story to his son, who he works with every day. He's like, I've never told you, but this knife is very important to me. That's so funny.
You're laughing at the movie, not with the movie.
The movie knows this is funny.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You're stupid.
The movie knows that it's funny to make a guy talk to his son about this mid-crime.
Because it's so serious, and then Aquaman gets onto the ship.
They stop walking to have that talk.
Yes, Aquaman gets on the ship.
They were walking through a submarine.
And they're like, oh no, Aquaman's here. What do we do? We feel all the seriousness. And Aquaman goes, permission to board. And we're like, that's so silly. That's when it gets silly. And then he beats everyone up, and he's all... And Aquaman, by the way, he swum to the submarine in the middle of the ocean, and as he's beating everybody up, he is in jeans, boots, and no shirt. He's swimming around in boots. Why you got boots on?
Because he came from the docks.
So how do you know this was happening? Then he wasn't on patrol.
I feel like somebody called him. I feel like they explain how this happened.
They don't. I paid attention. He just shows up.
I paid attention.
No, you didn't.
I had a great time.
You were too busy having fun.
I'm sorry I only had fun in the Aquaman movie. I didn't realize I had to pay attention.
When we saw it in theaters, I hated it so much, and I glazed over, and this time I had to engage with the entire time, and I was so angry. Aquaman saves all the soldiers. He talks to them in Swedish and stuff and gets them to safety, and they all know who he is. Then he's doing karate with Black Manta, and Black Manta's like, I've waited forever for us to meet. And Aquaman's like, why? He's like, because I scavenge the high seas and you're Aquaman. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? And then the dad shoots a missile at him and Aquaman's like, I'm all done being here. So then he throws a harpoon to the dad and harpoons him to the wall, in which we see minimal to no blood. A man has been harpooned.
First off, the dad shot him with a rocket launcher.
Yes.
And was like, I got him.
Yeah.
And then he just gets up because he's cool as hell. He's Aquaman.
Yeah, and that's when Aquaman's like, I'm done.
He's the god of the ocean.
Aquaman pretends to karate fight Black Manta so then he can survive a missile and be like, I'm all done doing this. He harpoons his dad and he's like, you're a dad? And he looks over at Black Manta. He's like, you're a bad dad. Be disappointed. Shame or something. And then he pulls... Because there's some sort of parent story that they don't know what they're talking about in this. I will give it to Zack Snyder. He always knows what he's saying about parents. I don't agree with it. But this movie has no fucking clue what it's saying about parents, but knows that they're important.
It knows what it's saying.
What's it saying about parents?
If your mom is gone, it's sad. And your brother might be weird.
So Aquaman pulls the harpoon out of the guy's arm, and then he's like, see you later. And then the guy's like, no, and he shoots him with another missile. But that makes the submarine sink and a big heavy thing fall on Black Manta's dad. And Black Manta is trying to pull a thing off, and he goes, Aquaman, help us. After trying to fight and kill Aquaman, he's like, Aquaman, help us. And Aquaman goes, no. And he goes, you can't leave him like this. Yes, he can. He just tried to kill him with the missile. And then Aquaman goes, you killed innocent people. Supposed to be taken seriously. The sea will have your mercy or some shit. And then Black Manta's shaking his dad and he's like, we'll get you out. And his dad's like, no, you're not, son. And he pulls out a bomb. Also, the dad does say, you need to live so you can kill that guy. It's not like you need to live, son, I love you. He goes, you need to live so you can kill that guy.
But I love that. That's great.
Stupid.
And is a big part of Aquaman too.
And then we go to Aquaman with his dad. Because this movie is somehow about how parents are supposed to be good. And they are, kind of.
It's a movie about family.
Yes, and I think that is what Aquaman and Thor are both about. And I think that's something that Aquaman has not really contended with.
I think it's why they're both stupid to me. Because they're movies that are about like, hey, this is what's important with your family. You know what's second important? Running the government. And it's actually the only situation where your job might be more important than your family.
The thing is, I think Thor handles that balance well and Aquaman doesn't.
Thor Ragnarok is about what if another family member got the position of power?
No,
don't let families be in power.
It's not. It's about how the function of
only do democratic elections.
Leadership is not about like
if people have superpowers, you have to do an election.
The leadership is about valuing the people, not the place.
Holding a big hammer doesn't mean you should be king.
Yes.
Or the trident.
And Thor learns that when he loses his big hammer. That's the whole point of that goddamn movie. He has to actually become a person that is good enough to take care of everybody, and it's not about being chosen by some fucking hammer.
He's still in charge. He's still in charge in New Mjolnir. What is it called? New Asgard?
Actually, no, he's not, because Tessa Thompson is. You stupid bitch.
She shouldn't be in charge.
They chose her.
They chose her because she's Valkyrie. They chose her because she's a main character. They should have a rando.
Aquaman and his dad, Tom Curry, and they are getting drunk at the bar together, and he's like, oh, Dad, you're so good at drinking. Even though I can breathe underwater, you drink me under the table or some shit. And then he's just like, drinking is my superpower.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's supposed to be funny. That's supposed to be funny.
There's so many things that are supposed to be funny.
I will beat the shit out of you.
I think, you know what? Fun. I guess the word I'm looking for is fun versus funny.
I agree with you. In this movie, violence is supposed to be fun. And I don't agree with that.
Sure.
Yes.
Fun.
Fucking hate you.
I'm sorry you hate the movie for being fun.
So then... I want to watch the Snyder Cut today now. Just to spite you.
Let's watch an unfun movie so that we can talk about violence in the world of Superman.
You think it's not fun when Joker offers to jerk off Batman in the post-apocalypse?
I'd say that's really fun. I'd say that's the fun part of that movie.
It's so crazy that happens.
I'd say the unfun part is when they cut to like Batman being like, you guys are all here for a good reason, and I love you all. Now let's beat up the parademons.
So we're with Aquaman and his dad, and then these big tough guys come up behind Aquaman, and you think they're going to fight, and they're like, will you take a picture with us? And they pull out their pink iPhone, and then they're like, you're kind of like a hero. So they know exactly who he is. They know this man is Aquaman. They want to take a picture with him, and so they take a picture with him. And Aquaman doesn't want to be touched at first, but then you see all the pictures and you see that they get drunk together and have a really good time.
That's fun.
I like that part.
That's the whole movie to me.
No,
that was
it's
the
not.
tone setting.
It wasn't. Then we go to the ocean and there's manta rays and it says, somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. What the fuck?
Can I tell you?
Why does it say somewhere?
In Aquaman 2, it says like somewhere north of the Atlantic, and then it shows a location 2 seconds later and goes, it just says another thing for what it is. And I was like, then why'd you? But I think that's such a fun thing to do.
No, they're doing that seriously and they do it a bunch.
I don't think it's serious. I think it's fun. Serious. I think everything in this movie has a fun tone.
So we go to an underwater coliseum and everyone's riding seahorses except for the guys who are already there. Patrick Wilson, Orm, Ocean Master, and Willem Dafoe, Volko. And
explain who any of those people are. The people don't know who that is. Orm, he's the king of Atlantis. He's Aquaman's brother.
Half-brother.
Willem Dafoe playing
Volko.
He's the advisor to the king.
And Aquaman's mentor.
And then Dolph Lundgren playing the guy that they're meeting to have a meeting with, played by Dolph Lundgren. What is his name?
I think it's King Nerys, right?
King Nerys. And he has red hair.
The kingdom of Atlantis have been separated into different kingdoms for a long time. They haven't had one like big ruler in a hot second.
Orm, the Ocean Master, he wants to unite the kingdom so that they can do an attack on the surface world. That's his plan.
And
that's
King Nerys is like, they don't even fucking know about us. Shut the fuck up. And he's like, besides, you just want to unite all the armies so you can be Ocean Master. And they go, boom, boom, boom. A lot of boom, boom, boom music in this. And he's like, no, I just care about everybody. And then he's like, and the war is already here. And he's like, what about your brother? He has royal blood. And he's like, that guy who's only half Atlantean? Fuck him. And then a submarine comes. Human submarine, a military submarine. They fight it. And then King Nerys is like, oh my God, Orm, you might be real. You might be right. And so then
when you saw this movie, did you think, I bet that submarine is the same as that submarine we just saw? No, I didn't either. I was like, whoa, 2 different submarines already?
I do think that's supposed to be a twist. I think they do that on purpose.
I know.
I think there are ways. I will say I think that's intentional. I think there are ways they could have signaled that it's the submarine from earlier, but they don't. So it's submarine.
It's a good twist.
Honestly, yeah, it is a good twist.
It is a good twist.
Structurally, it is a good twist.
Because you don't expect the humans to be talking to a pirate. Or the Atlanteans to be talking to a pirate.
He doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking. He keeps saying humans.
I'm sorry you hate fun.
His human name. It's his Atlantean name.
Black Manta's name is David.
They never say it.
They do in the second one a lot.
They never say it in the first movie. And so
they're always like, David's gone crazy.
Anyway, Patrick Wilson and fucking... Why has he gone crazy? He was already crazy. What do you mean he's gone crazy?
You didn't watch the second movie. We'll talk about it at the end, I guess.
Okay.
My favorite movie, Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom.
Then we go back to Aquaman, and his dad is fucking trash, and Aquaman's getting him into the car, and Amber Heard shows up. Queen Mara. I think one of the most sinful things of this movie, and I think it has like racist tones, fascist tones. I have a lot of issues with it. One of the most offensive things about this movie is that horrible red color they make Amber Heard's hair. It is so painful to look at. It's so violent. It looks so bad. Why would they do that to her? It's like they hate her. And then you think about Mandy Moore as Aquagirl, and I'm like, I guess she is a natural redhead, so they didn't have to put some god-awful Ariel-ass fucking wig on the bitch.
You know how I feel about Amber Heard.
Yeah, I'm not saying... You can say she's hot, and she is hot. I don't think she's the hottest woman in the world like you think.
She's number one.
No, I think, sure, she's hot.
And
fine.
The hair, they can do whatever they want.
No, they can't.
It won't change how I feel.
That's so cruel to her. Why would they give her that hair?
It's bad
on her skin.
I also think the jumpsuit's kind of unflattering. They make her stand very still and flat and look in a weird direction.
That's because I think the jumpsuit has to be CGI, right? I don't think that's real.
I think sometimes it's real.
I think it's got like a real thing that she's wearing, but I think a lot of it is CGI.
But when they're just standing on the dock, when you see it at first, I think it is a real suit and it looks like shit. It looks like Power Rangers.
It does look
like
Power Rangers.
A lot of this movie looks like Power Rangers.
And it really bothers me a lot of this movie looks like Power Rangers.
Which it is like it doesn't have to look this bad. Aquaman 2 doesn't look this bad.
Mara is like, she's Princess Mara, by the way, and she's a Queen Mara. And also Jason Momoa does not know she's a princess. Aquaman doesn't know. Arthur doesn't know. And he's like, she's like, Atlantis needs you. And he's like, I told Volko the same thing. I'm not going to come help Atlantis. And she's like, but you saved everybody in the Justice League. And he's like, that's because it was the Justice League. I don't give a fuck about Atlantis. And then she's like, your half-brother Orm's going to declare war on the surface. And he's like, dude, like, I'm not a king. You killed my mom. Shut the fuck up. And then he drives away. That's what that scene is.
That's true. You have described the scene, but you know what happens right after that? An attack.
Aquaman's driving his dad home when all of a sudden a giant tidal wave is bringing up a military ship, and he's like, oh shit. So he's trying to drive real fast, but the wave hits them, and then his dad gets fucked up, and he's like, oh, double shit, because he can't outrun the ocean. And then Merrick shows up, and she's like, I'll do magic to your dad to make him okay. And that's that scene.
That's another great scene. That's where violence is real.
No, it's not.
There were people on that boat.
We didn't see any of them. We didn't hear them scream. Aquaman tried to save none of them. If there were people on that boat, they are dead and not even thought about.
I'm sorry.
What we're thinking about is not.
I'm sorry that you can't see a silent death and understand that it is
horrifying. What we're not thinking about.
I'm sorry, you need audio.
We're never thinking about the actual weight of the choices and the people to save in this movie. We're only thinking about how sick it is to see cool shit happen. So then we cut to the TV, and they're like, decades of pollution have been brought up onto the ocean, and all of our military ships are on land. And the news people are like, what's going on? And Randall Park is there, and he's like, it's our first contact with Atlantis. Atlantis is real. And they're like, shut up. And he's like, you should listen to me. I know Atlantis is real. And so Aquaman is on a cliff with Mera, and he recants whatever would have happened in a previous scene we hadn't seen, where he's decided to help them and then come back. And she's like, good. I think it'll be good that you come back and not be our king. I'll help you stop this war. Then I'm done. And they dive into the water and swim like Atlanteans. And we have a flashback to like Volko training him, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you don't swim like this. You swim like this.
A really cool part.
Stupid.
The problem is I have no takes on this other than like, it's great. It's great when that happens.
So they go to this pretty underwater place. It's a city, and there's like a highway and a bridge. And Jason Momoa's like, why the fuck is that there? And she's like, it's from the old world when we were like on land and shit.
You're just cruising over so much stuff.
What do you want me to hit on?
Atlantis. It looks like Thor.
It looks like a worse version of Thor, yes.
I do think that they just were like, can it look like Thor?
And they said, yeah, sure.
And it has basically as much, I mean, Thor doesn't make sense either. I don't know.
And then Thor makes sense to me.
Thor does make sense. Neither of them make sense.
Yo, fuck you. I think Aquaman could make sense, and it makes sense to me, just not in this version.
You know why Aquaman doesn't make sense to me?
Why?
Because they should just tell the surface they exist.
I know.
Say it louder.
I know.
It's why I'm like, they're never going to get over the silly concept of like Atlantis exists.
So they don't go into Atlantis. They go to like an air pocket of a sunken ship, and they're like, only highborns can breathe water as well as air. Love how much eugenics is in this film. Aquaman's happy to see Volko, and he's like, I don't want to be king. And Volko's like, you got to prove that you're worthy of getting the trident. And Aquaman's like, I already have a trident. And he's like, you got to get the lost trident of Atlan. And it's made from Poseidon's steel for the first ruler of Atlantis. And then we go back and we get the history of Atlantis here. This is where we have the flashback part. Atlantis when it was above water. Yeah. Atlantis when they were just people walking around. This is where we go to Himmler's version of white supremacy, where all white people are in an advanced society in the past, even more advanced than anybody else with robots and machines. And then it was sunken so that we can't talk about the important good things white people did. And everybody's fucking white. It's crazy. It's crazy they're doing the Nazi version of Atlantis.
I mean, they're from Greece. They're Greek.
No, they're white as fuck.
They're
blonde and blue-eyed walking around.
Here's the thing. That's what Aquaman looks like.
That's not necessarily always true, because there's a version of Aquaman.
Well, sometimes he looks like Jason Momoa.
No. There's a version of Aquaman where at one point Aquaman, because he's blonde, I think this is the Silver Age version, that makes him like a bad omen. They hate blonde people, so they abandon him, and that's how he gets raised on land, is because they hate blonde people.
Well, that's a funny idea.
It's crazy. I think there's a way to do it that is not like this Nazi Himmler version, but they do not do it.
Listen, I don't disagree with this part. I think it is a weird, like, unknown thing that they have accidentally put this. So what is it? Subconscious?
Yeah, I think
it's a subconscious idea that they've accidentally put in that, like,
Atlantis is advanced
like
white
really
civilization.
super advanced white people.
Super advanced white people who built machines way before anyone else and were better than everybody else, and then died.
Still fun though.
Stupid. And so then
you didn't take away any fun from me.
Their hubris is so Their hubris is so big that they sink, and then they evolve to be able to breathe underwater. And that first king of like the underwater Atlantis had the trident from Poseidon, because I guess Poseidon thought they were great. They were high tech, and that god guy loved them. And then he gives them the first trident, and then it gets lost in a trench, and only the truest ruler of Atlantis could ever go get it from the trench. And Aquaman's like, this is made up. Don't talk to me about this.
I don't understand why he would ever think anything's made up. He
I
can breathe
don't
underwater.
either.
His mom is the queen of Atlantis.
There's so much magic. You're going to believe that an old trident is real, maybe? Shut the fuck up.
But also, it's fun that he doesn't believe.
It's so dumb that he doesn't
he's
believe.
a magical king of Atlantis. He understands that. He gets it. But he's like, but that, no. But it doesn't matter because Orm shows up.
And Mera and Volko have to hide because Volko goes, he can't know you're here. And you wonder, why can't he know they're there?
And then he brings them to the throne room.
I call the throne room a weird white hallway.
I was like, wow, the Apple Store. Very nice throne room. You know what I thought?
What?
They can't paint underwater.
Why wouldn't it be metal then? Why would it be white? Is it plastic?
Their metal is white because all their high-tech suits are white.
That's so stupid. So Aquaman's in arrest and he's under chains in the weird white hallway, and Ocean Master's like, he's like, you can't go to war. And Ocean Master's like, how will you stop the surface from fucking up the water? And his answer is, there are no sides in a war like this. Yes, there are. There's a side, and our side, the surface side is bad. It's destroying everything.
I'm on the Aquaman side.
I'm on the Orm side.
I think of them at the same side.
No, Aquaman's on the surface. He says there are no sides in the world like this. And they're like, the ocean is heating up, poison, trash, blah, 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 blah. And then Aquaman's like, I want to do the battle of kings with you.
Again, they should just tell the surface they exist.
100%.
I mean, I guess it's the same thing that I don't understand about Wakanda. I'm like, I don't really get why.
I get why Wakanda.
Wakanda a little bit. Because there's stuff they'd want take.
Yeah, and I think there's a way to do that with Atlantis or not. But for some reason, they want to be a secret because they are a secret. They are a secret because they are a secret, and that's why they must be secret in this version of Aquaman.
It's like, but Wakanda, they're not like, hey, they're literally poisoning the air in Wakanda, and they don't even know. It's like, okay, at some point you have to be like, we gotta say something. And
they're like, no. And so then Aquaman's like, we should be in the Battle of Kings. And then we see Queen Mera's up there. Oh, Princess Mera's up there. What? She's betrothed to Orm, and Volko sitting on the other side. And that's why they couldn't be caught. They're sitting right next to Orm. And they're like, you can't do the Battle of Kings with him. He's an idiot. He doesn't know what it means. And Orm's like, shut the fuck up. I'm going to kill my brother.
Can we stop for a second?
No.
I love Orm. The way you're talking about Jason Momoa in this movie, I'm like, it's fine. He's fine. He's just doing what the movie's asking of him. Orm is bringing stuff.
He's not.
Orm is like, hey, I understand the tone of this movie so well. Every time he says anything, you're like, fun.
I can't wait to kill my brother.
But that's so fun that he said that. That's a fun, stupid movie thing that I love.
So then Volko is talking
to me about Orm.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know.
You're responding to my response. I would just say the same thing. You haven't changed my opinion.
He's a great guy.
No, he's not.
You're on his side.
Well, yeah, stop killing the ocean. I think
Orm's right. I think that's the thing.
Orm is right.
Orm is an evil villain who wants to kill his brother and clearly is just in this for power. But also, he's right. He's right. They should kill everyone on the surface. They should take the ocean back.
Listen, there is a take that Aquaman could be doing about like innocence and protecting people and the cost of war and going other pathways before it, but they do not do that. Aquaman exists not to challenge anything, but to uphold the status quo. People can pollute the water, and then they can kind of fight the pollution, but like, let's not actually change anything. The world is good as is. So then, privately, at some point, as Aquaman's getting ready to fight Orm, Volko is like, you're stupid to fight him. He lived underwater his whole life, and you didn't. And then he's like, I got my mom's big fork and stuff. And then we go back to we go back to Volko teaching Aquaman how to fight as a teen. And he's like, this is your mom's trident. And he's like, why won't my mom see me? Why am I not good enough? And then he's like, she's dead. And then we go to Orm, and he's like, engaged to Mera, probably because she's she's King Nereus's daughter. And then Aquaman comes in and sees them together and is like, oh my God. And because boy and girl in movie are always supposed to fuck, he is offended. These characters who have had no romance or chemistry or anything so far, any reason to believe that Aquaman should be betrayed by Queen Mera, being betrothed to someone, or be into her, or care at all, is treated as a moment of betrayal and weight as he sees her talking to Orm.
I will give you one flaw with the movie, which is that they really don't have chemistry. They really, every time they talk to each other, you're like, they hate each other.
I mean, I don't know if they hate each other. They don't have chemistry. My big problem is also they don't write any reasons for them to love each other. Why would they love each other? There's not a single moment that like makes it seem like, oh, I understand why these two would fall in love.
Well, because one time she accidentally eats a flower because she thinks it's food. That's coming. Yet. That's coming.
Yeah, but this is before that, and he looks at them. He looks at her with betrayal.
He's like, I love that.
I'm like, you don't even like her. You told her to fuck off 10 minutes ago, and now you're gonna look at her like you're betrayed. They get ready for battle, and Aquaman walks to Orm and goes, there's a time I wanted to meet you more than ever. And then he's like, I hate you. That's what Orm's like. And then they fight. And
again, a great moment.
They fight, and then
a really great moment.
It's not. And then they fight, and Aquaman's getting his fucking ass handed to him. But then he's winning for a second. But then he's losing again. And then right before his trident gets snapped, and then someone makes a whirlpool that traps Patrick Wilson. Orm. Yeah, who does that? I rewinded. I could not tell. Am I stupid? We never see her do it.
She uses magic.
We don't see her do it.
She's the only one who can do it.
There's a whirlpool.
No one else knows how to do that.
There's a whirlpool grabs Orm. We see no one cast it. And then Mera, Amber Heard, drives up in her ocean car and says, get in, Jason Momoa.
You've skipped an important thing.
What?
There's an octopus who plays the drums. And I want you to know, and this is important, that octopus is a main character in the second movie.
Oh my God.
He's a fun sidekick who helps do stuff.
So they drive away and underwater, and then Aquaman does one thing that I like. He looks around and goes, bad guys, in a high-pitched voice. And I'm like, Jason Momoa, thank you.
It is part of the whiplash of this movie that he was just like, I can defeat the strongest guy in the world. And then he's like, well, now I'm in a car, so I'm kind of scared. Being in a car is a lot scarier to him than fighting hand to hand with a trident.
Then they almost escape, but then Patrick Wilson, Orm, pulls up next to them, and they make slow-mo eye contact because she is betraying him. He's like, oh my God, what? And he's trying to shoot them, and he does, and then they crash into lava, but then they eject out of the car and swim away right before they hit the lava. But then Aquaman commands sea life, and she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, get in this whale's mouth, Pinocchio. And they hide in the whale's mouth, and then Patrick Wilson comes around and he's like, they're gone.
It was crazy to me when they come back to this later.
What do you mean?
They return to the
Pinocchio?
idea that she doesn't know what Pinocchio is.
Yes.
And it's like, this is a one-off joke. You do not go back to this.
Listen, I would have gone back to it even harder. Then all of a sudden they're in a plane, and Patrick...
all of a sudden they're in a plane?
Yeah.
They walk out of the ocean into the Sahara Desert.
But then they get in a plane.
Yeah, but that's such a great shot.
All of a sudden
you can't just skip the good parts.
You
can't just go past
I wouldn't even argue
parts.
that's a good part.
You don't think it's cool when you get out of the ocean and then it's just sand for the whole continent?
No.
The beach is the whole... I never thought that the Sahara was the beach.
And then Aquaman, he gets into a plane with Mera.
You're ignoring me again.
Because it's not an important part. It's not a good part, and I don't care about it.
They get into a plane.
And this is my problem. Aquaman knows the guy, and now Mera is in clothes. Where'd she get perfectly fitted white lady pants and perfect little heeled boots?
You've got to accept that in this movie there's things they don't care about, like how they get the clothes or what they're wearing or what they're doing. They're just doing it and they're wearing it.
Hate you.
They're doing it and they're wearing it.
They're doing it and they're wearing it. They're looking for a message to tell them how to get to the trident because that's what Focal found. And so they got to figure out, they got to go to a place where they can turn on the message that they're holding. That's like the who's-he what's-it of this part of the story.
MacGuffin.
I know, but I decided to, because the MacGuffin's actually the trident. I would argue this is a who's-he what's-it, which is lesser than a MacGuffin.
Of course. Continue.
And so and they're like, there's no ocean here. This is the desert. And she's like, this is where Atlantis people are. And they jump out. And she jumps out, and then the guy is looking at her like she's crazy. But then Aquaman goes, redheads, gotta love them. And he jumps out of the plane.
That's a good line.
It really is. I actually do support that.
I feel like that's the tone of the whole movie.
It's not the tone of the whole movie. That's
I don't
my problem.
know. I feel like most of the scenes that you're blowing past, I'm like, I would apply what you just said to that. I would apply it to most of those scenes.
Nope. So then we cut to somewhere in the Indian Ocean. Just give things fake names. Say how far things are. Like 5,000 miles from the coast. Or I don't know. This much to Atlantis. This much to a pretend city. I don't fucking know. Why is it somewhere?
If they
just
did
say
that,
the Indian Ocean. Why does it say somewhere?
If they did that, you would get so nitpicky. You would be like, "That's too far."
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
I wouldn't. You don't know me.
I know you.
Nope.
Siena.
So then Black Manta is waiting for some Atlantean soldiers, and they're like, "Here are weapons to go kill Aquaman. How much do we pay you?" And he's like, "My prize is killing Aquaman."
I also like that they pay Black Manta in gold doubloons.
But he doesn't want them. His prize is killing Aquaman.
Which you must imagine he's got to like go through the whole exchange rate. Like they couldn't get human cash.
I don't think
because it can't get wet.
How does he use that money? Does he melt it down?
I'd imagine he melts it down and sells it for gold.
Or does he go to like the black market?
I can't even talk to you about Aquaman 2. There's a Tatooine style bar in Aquaman 2 where it's like this is where human pirates and aqua people mix and do their business.
Great.
It's really good.
Hate you. So then we go back to Mara and Aquaman. They're walking on the desert. And Mara's like, land sucks. And Aquaman's like, you can't judge a place before you see it. And she's like, you judged Atlantis on less. No, he didn't. They killed his mom. He did not judge them on less. What a stupid fucking thing to say.
He forgot.
And so then they fall into a sinkhole and they get shot out of a canyon where Aquaman saves her. And then they land somewhere. And then there's a random rock and he's like, found it. And he moves it. And then we're in the Atlantean Hall of Armory. They're like, oh my God, the trident is real because they find like a thing that like a melty thing that you stick it in. What are those called? Not molds.
Molds.
No, they had a different name when you melt them.
Smite.
No.
Smolt.
And then they're like, we got to put this message in the message machine, but the message machine doesn't work. So then she's like, okay. Forge. And then she pulls water. It might be like something like a forge or something like that.
Mold.
She pulls the water out of his skin and she puts it on the message machine and then they can see the message and he's like, you should have peed on it. And then she's offended and then they see a hologram like a video game.
He doesn't say it like that. He says, if you just need water, I would peed on it. And it's funny and it's light and fun.
I remember the audience I remember Camille laughing so hard at that.
It was so funny.
Hate you. And then then the video game goes, this is the trident of Atlantis and it will unite the kingdoms above and below and the instructions are in a bottle. And then she goes, we can't let Orm find this message, and she smashes it. And I'm like, why couldn't you let him find that? What the fuck would that do? It's like that doesn't fucking matter.
It confuses me that Orm would even understand what their plan is.
He wouldn't. And on top of that, he doesn't need that. He clearly has his own military. He doesn't need the trident. They're not competing to get the trident.
Orm isn't even really aware of what the trident is.
Orm's doing his own thing.
They haven't ever explained what they're doing to him.
Orm is just like, I'm uniting armies. Go kill that guy. I fucking hate him. So then they're like, this trident would unite the kingdoms above and below. Does that mean if he gets the trident, he's the king of the world? Like us too?
Well, we're not kingdoms. We're countries.
I mean the world.
We're not a kingdom.
I mean,
do you live in a kingdom?
No. But does he somehow become king of the world then? In the eyes of the universe?
I think he becomes king of all the kingdoms, which there's 7.
But it says here king of above and below.
Of the kingdoms.
No, it says above and below.
Well, they would have to respect him as the king of Atlantis above.
But then is he like the king of Georgia? I meant the state, not even the country. Is he just the king of everywhere then?
I don't think so.
That's above and below.
We're not kingdoms.
It doesn't matter. It says the king of everything above and below. They don't say the king of the 7 kingdoms. They say
I think that's more of like a clause, like if they ever get Atlantis back to the surface, you still technically are the ruler.
No, I think it means he rules the planet Earth.
I don't think that's true.
Someone come and talk to us about this. So she smashes it and then he's like, why did we write down? She's like, you didn't memorize it, and he didn't, and that is funny.
Okay.
I like that. And then they're like, all right, we found this bottle, and he keeps her from falling.
That was a serious moment.
He keeps her from falling in the hole of the bottle. What was a serious moment? Shut the fuck up.
I like that they know to keep the bottle, that the bottle is going to be important to the rest of the mystery.
They keep the bottle, and she almost falls in it, but then he saves her. And then they go to Sicily, because that's where the map tells them to go. And it's funny that like they get to Sicily and like They barely go anywhere. They kind of just walk around in a square for a second. And Mara's like, maybe the surface doesn't suck. And then she's learning about all these new things. There's little kids, and they hand her a rose. And then she sees people eating apples, so she bites the rose. And then Jason Momoa sees her bite the rose. And then instead of telling her not to bite the rose, he eats another rose, which is also good.
It's a great part.
I think it's one of the highlights of the movie.
She hands a little girl a gold coin. The girl throws it away, even though it probably costs $1,000.
And then she makes a bunch of dolphins out of the water, and the little girl's like, Mommy, look. And then as soon as Mommy goes to look, she stops making the dolphins in the water so that girl looks like a fucking idiot to her mommy.
I feel like that's just a overall problem I have with like magical stuff. Like they're like a hidden world. Don't tell anybody. I'm like, tell me. Tell us.
I do agree with you. Sometimes it makes sense that they don't. Sometimes I think they build it together, but Aquaman really has no fucking reason.
If there was a human villain, it would make more sense. If the city of Atlantis was like, we cannot reveal ourselves to the world. Look what humans want to do to us.
Yes.
Whereas the villain of this is just in Atlantis. So it's like, what's the big deal?
You're right. You're very right. And I think that part is a real struggle, but they just expect you to accept it. Then back with fucking Aquaman and Mera, they're trying to figure out like where to go. They got the bottle. They're walking around a bunch of old sculptures, and then she's like, through the eyes of the king. How do we figure it out? And then Jason Momoa, Aquaman, he figures it out. Arthur figures it out, and then for some reason he knows all the different Roman statues that are up.
Because his pops made him learn his history.
I didn't know Ursula was learning a bunch of fucking random ass generals.
I'm sorry that you don't like fathers teaching their sons.
And then he's like, but this guy was a king. And then he puts the bottle on an ancient sculpture. Then he climbs onto it and looks through the ancient sculpture's eye to see through the bottle. And they realize it's a map to see like where they need to go. And then Mera climbs on it. You can't be climbing on these ancient sculptures. Who is letting them do that? There should be a security guard going, hey, no.
What are they going to do? She is the ocean witch.
They don't know that.
They could.
And then
he's on Instagram.
The sculpture explodes. And he catches her. And
we haven't mentioned this, but there's a few random explosions that throw people back in this movie that I think every time it happens, I'm like, perfect.
Shut the fuck
great
up.
moment.
I hate you.
It's the mise en scène. It's the mise en scène of the movie it's the type of movie where you might get thrown through a wall by a random explosion that you didn't see coming.
So the random explosion gets them. They blow up the sculpture, and then it's a bunch of Aqua soldiers in Black Manta, and he goes, "Call me Black Manta." I'm like, that's crazy that he's announcing this right now. And then everybody fights for a long fucking time, and a long, boring, bloodless fight that's mostly Black Manta and Aquaman doing karate, and Mera running across rooftops as they both fall into old Italian people's houses, and the old Italian people watch them and they blast out windows, and that happens multiple times.
It's a really fun scene. It was a joy to watch. I think my favorite moments of it are when Mera turns the wine into spears, which is fun. She also...
We're not there yet.
We're there to me.
Okay.
We're there.
We haven't talked about how that thing gets blown up and a big column falls on a Sicilian man.
I'm about to say it.
And then Aquaman lifts it up and that guy runs off perfectly fine. Nothing bad is happening.
That's all part of the battle. That's all part of the battle to me.
Also, Amber Heard's face gets a little bit messed up, but not her eyeshadow. And then this is when she does the wine.
She has underwater. You didn't even let me say my real favorite part.
This is when she does the wine part.
Which is that because there's a soldier. The soldiers need to drink water. They have to have water.
If you say the toilet scene, I'll kill you.
Of course I'm going to say the toilet scene. It's the moment of real violence in this film. It's where if this person does not get their face back into the water.
She smashes someone's little mask and they can't breathe and they're in a house.
They have like reverse submarine. They have reverse scuba gear where they have to have water in their face all the time. And then somebody's going to die, so they stick their head in a toilet to stay alive, and then they sigh with relief that they're not dead.
Stupid. And she has killed multiple people in this. And so...
Because there's violence.
There's no weight to it. It's fun.
There is weight. That guy almost died. He had to stick his head in the toilet to survive.
Fuck you.
That's violence.
By the way, he doesn't even know what a toilet is. They treat it like there's tension about him knowing what a toilet is. He doesn't know what a fucking toilet is.
I'm fine with that. The joke was for me, not him.
Shut the fuck up. And then her face is messed up in her eyeshadow. Then she does the thing Ben's obsessed with. She turns a bunch of wine into spears.
I'm obsessed with the toilet part more.
And then Aquaman gets his ass kicked by Black Manta, but then throws a big dumbbell at him, and then he shoots the dumbbell with his head, and he explodes backwards, and we don't see him ever again until the end.
That shot where he's going down the cliff is really cool. And he's like hitting every rock on the way down, but they did that thing where they tie the camera to him, so it's his head just getting hit nonstop. I like this movie.
Dumb. And then fucking Mara saves Aquaman, and we find him on a boat, and she's bandaged him up with seaweed. A call back to his dad bandaging up Nicole Kidman with regular bandages. And then he sees her playing flute at the end of the boat, and he goes, "Did you steal a boat?" And she goes, "These are not public use." How does she know what a boat is? I mean, I guess actually she would. I take it back. She would know what a car is. She'd know what a boat is. And then they're attacked, and then there's finally some blood in the movie, but it's monster blood because it's okay to kill monsters and for that to be
the
sick
trench
and cool.
You got to explain. The trench is filled with monsters.
Yeah, I know, because they're
like evil sea people.
Savage instead of evolving like the classic white Atlanteans.
Right. They became more like
monsters.
More monsters.
And then they can kill a bunch of them, and they're bloody and stuff, and that's okay because we don't care about them. And
there's awesome scenes where Aquaman has a flare and he's diving into the depths of the monsters, and there's lightning going off, and you see like, wow, there's a lot of monsters.
Listen.
Pretty scary.
That is a sick shot.
Thank you.
So then they're getting really fucked over, but then his mom saves them, and then he's like, "Mom, you're alive, Nicole Kidman," and she's wearing monster skin, which means she has killed and skinned some of these monsters. Crazy. And then the trench people skin, and then
he killed some of those monsters.
But she skinned them, I said.
She's been down there for like 20 years.
She still has her old clothes on. Why is she skinning the monsters and wearing them?
You're not even saying that they're in a dinosaur jungle.
Yeah, so she saves them and takes them out of the water into a big dinosaur jungle where
that's not even really part of the movie.
That's where she's been living, I guess. And then they can't go back up because the creature will only let the true king pass. And then she goes to
the Kraken.
Yeah, and
not the Kraken.
The Kraken, played by Mary Poppins.
Yep.
Julie Andrews.
Which the new Mary Poppins movie had come out like right around this time, and they were like, "Is Julie Andrews in it?" And they were like, "No, she's in Aquaman."
So then they're like, the creature will let the true king pass. And then she looks at Aquaman and she goes, "You're afraid?" And he goes, "Yes." And she goes, "Good, you're ready." Atlantis has always had a king. Now they need a hero. A king fights for his nation. You fight for everyone. Yeah, king of the world.
He does fight for everyone.
So then he goes to the Kraken, and who keeps the trident from the false kings, and there's a lot of talking that doesn't matter.
Excuse me?
Tell me what parts matter.
The fact that he can talk to her, and she goes, "You can talk to fish?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "I haven't talked to anyone in 1,000 years." And he's like, "So who were you talking to just now?" And she's like, "I was saying evil words of warning to no one. I didn't think you could hear me."
And then she gives him...
She gives such a long speech to then find out that she didn't think he could hear her.
It's so long. She's like, "You're unworthy. You don't deserve this, blah, 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 blah." And then finally, after the little exchange, she's like, "Why do you think you deserve this?" And he's like, "I don't, but I have to do it. It's my last choice." So then we go back, we leave, and then we go back to the family, to his mom and Mara, and then he has the trident, and he's in the Aquaman outfit.
Great.
Fine.
I like it.
It's not good.
They play a good, big, fun music.
But it's a little Spider-Man-y when I listen to it.
The one problem with this movie, the only problem, it doesn't have as good a theme song as the Wonder Woman, because they do that.
The Wonder Woman theme is so good.
It's so good.
And every time it comes into the Snyder Cut, it's so fucking good.
They never figured out what Aquaman's theme should be, which I kind of feel like it should be drums or something.
I think it should too, but it's just vaguely a Spider-Man like kind of ripoff.
Yeah,
theme.
it's just not that good.
So then we go to Ocean Master, and he's going to defeat the Brine King and become Ocean Master, and he'll have so many underwater spaceships. And the Brine Master's a crab. So Patrick Wilson has all the underwater spaceships, and he's going to kill the crab people. And then he's like, "Crab King, give your allegiance to me." He's like, "You can take my army, but I'll never swear my allegiance to you."
All of them are riding sharks and alligators.
So then Orm is getting ready to kill the king of the brine people, and that is when Aquaman blasts through on the big Kraken. He's riding it up, and then he's just fucking up their army with this big monster, and all the spaceships are getting knocked the shit out of them. And then he uses his trident, and he commands all the sea animals, and so they stop fighting. Then Amber Heard shows up and she helps Bunch with some magic. And then Aquaman and Mera, they kiss because, I don't know, they're supposed to.
It didn't make sense, but I thought very good. Smart move.
And so then she's like, make him fight in your world. And he's like, okay. So then they're all up. Then he rides on a sea dragon. That's not a seahorse. That's a sea dragon.
The seahorse is in the next one.
That's a sea dragon, though.
Yeah.
I like how in making Aquaman tough, they left Vince on a seahorse, but they're like, no, Jason Momoa gets a sea dragon.
Well, I think this movie, again, I think that they're just actually doing what the 2000s did. They're trying to make him cool.
I know. But for some reason, the seahorse, I love that somehow slides through in the 2000s, but this is a sea dragon. You'd think that would be one of the first things you don't want to do if you're Vinny Chase.
I would imagine, we never saw the seahorse in Entourage, but I imagine it would be like, he's cool as hell. He's basically a dragon.
No, because sea dragon is a different type of animal.
Yeah, but
they look like seaweed.
James Cameron made Avatar.
They look like
dragons.
seaweed. I'm sure it's a dragony looking seahorse, but I'm sure it's a seahorse and not a sea dragon, which are different animals.
I see what you mean.
No, you don't.
I know about a sea dragon.
They go up and they fight on the surface, and it's raining, so everybody can watch. And then Aquaman uses his trident, and he's so cool, and he beats the shit out of Ocean Master, Orm, Patrick Wilson, whatever. And then Orm's down on the ground, and he's like, behead me! And Aquaman's like, I don't want to. And he's like, do it! And Aquaman's like, maybe. And then Aquaman's mom shows up, and she's like, no! And Orm's like, Mom! And Orm's like, you're on Aquaman's side? And she's like, of course, but I love you. And then Voco comes up and he's like, arrest Orm. And so then they arrest Orm, and he goes, but make sure he has a view. And then Orm smiles at him. Why does Orm smile at him?
It's like sportsmanship.
It's not. It's so
like,
stupid.
damn, you got me. It's like, damn, you got me.
You thought he was smiling at something else? It's so dumb.
That's not a smile. It's a smirk.
It's a smirk. Okay, sorry. I wouldn't smirk if someone said, but make sure he has a view. And then he smirks. And then
he understands that he was beaten and that he respects gamemanship.
No, he doesn't.
It's a political game, this movie.
Why does everyone turn? No, it's not. Stupid
Why does everyone
shit.
turn?
To support Aquaman.
I don't know,
because
everyone in Atlanta is dumb as hell. It doesn't make sense anything they do. Where are they driving in their space cars? They have the ability to swim.
I was thinking that the whole time. Why? Just swim.
They swim so fast.
And they have to be in space cars.
And the cars don't seem to go much faster.
Maybe to save energy for the fighting. Because that's why I would drive and not run places. Because I could run places, but I am driving. And sometimes I can run faster than traffic. But I'm still driving to save my energy.
But there's no roads. They could drive anywhere. There would never be traffic.
I know. I said to save their energy, though. So if the spaceships only go as fast as they go, because I'm not normally faster than the car. I understand I'm not normally faster than the car.
They're faster than the cars.
Yes. So why would they do it? To save energy.
I have a lot of questions about Atlantean society that will never be answered because they've never been asked. But I know that,
I'm asking them.
Listen, you're saying, why are they all following him? I don't know. Why is the government doing what Trump says? We don't like him, but he won the kingdom when he killed Joe Biden in the Trident fight. You have to follow the leader.
They're not following. Some people aren't. They're doing others. Never mind.
All of the people who were just protecting King Orm, who is Joe Biden,
don't call him Trump just because he's orange. And then
he's a big orange guy. He loves gold.
And then this is my big problem. This is my big problem with superheroes. Now that he is king, everything is good. That's not how anything works.
That's why they made the second movie.
They made it to make more money. And then
it didn't work.
And then Nicole Kidman goes back to Aquaman's dad and the movie ends.
What did you think of it?
I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you. I hate this movie.
I don't know why you hate it.
I think it's sinister.
I guess, okay.
It's sinister.
Is it sinister to make a movie where it's violence has no consequences and it's just fun stuff? Yeah, a little bit. But I don't know.
Is it sinister to have eugenics be major points of the movie?
I've seen way more sinister movies.
No, because this one is under the shiny veneer of it's fun, and that's what's so dangerous about it.
But I think the Transformers movies. I mean, there's other movies where I'm like, it's just fun on top of something I don't agree with.
You say that, I can't even tell what's going on. The Transformers movies are so loud, I can't register what's happening. I could not, at least in this movie, I can follow what's happening. When I watch a Transformers movie, I swear to God, it's just like grinding metal sounds for like 3 hours, and I don't know what's happening.
This movie's fun fish.
Oh, I love fish.
I
love fish. I love the ocean. So like, I get Aquaman.
It's hard for me to get mad at an Aquaman movie for not really being very good. Because it's like they shouldn't make it.
I think they should, and I have ideas for it, and I've thought about this.
I don't think they should ever really. I mean,
they fuck should. You. I think they should. I like Aquaman. I think you could do cool stuff with him. I think you could do cool stuff with Atlantis. I think removing it from the royal family is super helpful. I think that's why Vince's Aquaman movie, I wish I could have seen, where he is just like a cool spy hero guy for Poseidon who's able to do both things because he is both people and whatever.
I think I just so don't understand why anything about Atlantis that it's hard for me to like really criticize like what they're doing or acting like, because I'm like, he's like, that is against our Atlantean society, and I'm like, what is your... You've never told me anything about it.
I
don't really understand any of the rules of this world.
Yeah.
I kind of just know that I like Jason Momoa doing stuff.
Yes.
And that's what this movie is.
Yes.
And I'm having a good time watching that.
No.
And I like Black Manta. I like Black Manta doing stuff. Amber Heard is number one hottest lady ever born.
Existed.
I think the fights, I think the three major like set pieces in the third act, or not third act, but like second half of the movie, like Italy, the trench dive, and the big battle are really cool and fun to watch.
I think they're boring. I don't think they're fun to watch. I think they have a couple cool visuals, but aren't cool. I always think about in Lego movie,
I think they're cool and fun.
How every action sequence should be its own story, and none of these are its own story. None of these are changing anything plot-wise or even character-wise. They're just stagnation. Each one, except for the final one, it really is truly, these big action sequences are stagnation.
Really? Because if he didn't do that big trench dive, how would he ever know that there was a dinosaur island with his mom?
It doesn't change anything about like himself or what's going on there.
It does. He learns that he is the king of Atlantis.
No, he learns that he doesn't need to be the king. He needs to be the hero. But then they're like, you are the king.
Well, of course. What are you going to do? Make the hero not be the king?
So I finished the movie.
Respond to what I said.
Why?
I don't know. Because this is a conversation. It's a podcast.
I know it's a podcast.
You can't just skip what I said.
That's the joke. You made the joke at the end. I don't want to respond to the joke. That's the button.
That's not the button.
That's the button.
It's the beginning of the conversation.
That you can't have the hero be the king? Yeah, you point out how stupid it is, and then what do you want me to say? Yeah, that is stupid? That's the button. The button is, the end of the clip is, of course the hero's got to be king. And I go, what the fuck are you doing?
Of course the hero has to be the king.
No.
Now you're going to respond to me?
Because obviously he doesn't, and obviously you agree with that because you give a big speech about the president and how the president should be not a main character.
If you're a hero, you have to be the president, and that's why I voted for John McCain in 2008.
I don't want to engage with your facetious takes. Only your serious takes.
I'm not being facetious.
You are being facetious.
Well,
you didn't vote for John McCain.
I wasn't old enough to vote for him.
Piece of shit.
And I'm glad Obama won.
Fuck you.
This movie is good. I like it.
So here's the thing. This movie ended, and I thought, where the fuck did Black Manta go? Did I miss something? And then I'm like, let the credits roll, and then we're with Black Manta, and he's picked up by a bunch of guys on a boat, and then he wakes up in Randall Park's house, and Randall Park is like looking at his helmet, and he goes, don't do that, and the helmet shoots a laser, and then Randall Park goes, this is Atlantean technology, you gotta tell me about it. He goes, I will, if you tell me where Aquaman is. And he throws a knife at a newspaper that has a outline of Jason Momoa and a question mark in it to ask, who is Aquaman? What the fuck do they mean they have to figure out where Aquaman is? I know where he is. People are taking selfies with him and posting it. This is the most findable guy.
You don't know that. He might swim really far away.
No. You go tagged Aquaman on Instagram. You could find where he was. You could message people who met him. You go, what's his name? And they go, oh, Arthur Curry.
Can I tell you about Aquaman 2?
Yes.
Aquaman 2. He's the king of Atlantis now. The movie immediately starts with Amber Heard having his baby.
Their baby. Sexism.
No, his baby to me.
Their baby.
Amber Heard.
Sexism.
The baby.
I'm saying there as a unit.
The baby.
Because they did it together.
The baby has the power of the ocean. The baby can do the stuff where he moves water, and he does a funny joke where the baby's peeing, but the baby always makes the pee go right into Jason Momoa's face.
I like that.
Yeah, and then the baby can talk to fish, and Jason Momoa gets so excited and is like, finally, I've made a person who can understand what I go through because I can talk to fish. And it's just a baby staring at 5 goldfish, and the goldfish are staring back at him. Anyway, Jason Momoa is trying to run the city.
The kingdom.
The kingdom. This is the city to me. It's Atlantis.
It's a kingdom.
They want to attack the surface still. He's like, no. They're like, well, you don't have the votes to get anything done. You being the king doesn't change anything. Unrelated to all that, Black Manta has been searching for technology, and he finds the 7th lost kingdom. He finds an evil trident that when he touches it, it's like Sauron, and an ancient king gets in his brain and starts making him do stuff. And so Black Manta starts stealing shit directly out of Atlantis, and then now he's in direct conflict with Aquaman. And Aquaman is like, we have to go after Black Manta and stop whatever this evil plan he's doing. The evil plan is also raising the temperature of the world and causing massive global warming. So
why?
Because he's using evil ancient Atlantis.
But why do they want climate change? Why does ancient evil Atlantis want climate change?
Because the evil villain is frozen in ice, which was frozen by a freeze spell. They used magic to freeze this guy.
And they can't use magic to unfreeze him? They have to use global warming?
They don't have a magic guy. They have Black Manta, David.
Go find a magic guy. They seem to be everywhere.
Anyway, he's like, there's only one person who knows how to track down Black Manta, and it's the guy who hired him, which is my brother, Orm. So Aquaman goes outside of the council, goes to a prison in the middle of the desert where Orm has been kept very dry so that he can't escape. He breaks Orm out, and then Orm and Aquaman go on a buddy mission to like take down Black Manta, and it's great. It's really good.
I thought with the ocean they could tell where everyone was, is what you said earlier.
He's not in the ocean. He's in the desert.
Black Manta is in the ocean?
They can't find him. He's using cloaking technology.
You made that up.
No, that's what he's doing.
Okay, fine.
It's really hard to find him. So they have to go to a bar of like a Den of Thieves style bar.
And then what?
And then I don't know. Do you want to hear the whole movie?
Yeah, I want to hear the whole movie.
They have to go defeat Black Manta, and then they break in, and Dr. Stephen Shin is like, guys, I think I really messed up being friends with this guy. He's weird. And he switches back to their side, but then he like gets knocked out. Then they're like, the thing that will undo the freeze spell for real is that you need blood from the bloodline and from the ancient king who made this spell. And Patrick Wilson's like, so that's me and you and mom. And Aquaman's like, no, baby. And so they kidnap the baby because they need baby blood, which ends up not mattering. They get it from Aquaman. And then they a bunch of stuff happens, and they defeat the evil king.
And that's Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom.
That's a great movie.
I don't like when a movie you can say a bunch of stuff happens, because that is an Aquaman movie. None of it matters.
I could have gone in detail if you want, but we're at the end. People have been listening to this forever.
I know. I'm just saying nothing matters. A bunch of stuff happens, and that's my problem with these movies.
What movie? The Odyssey. It's this guy. He's old. A bunch of stuff happens.
You know that's
what happens.
It's not even right.
You can say a bunch of stuff happens to anything.
You can't. You can only say it to Aquaman.
You can say it to what I was doing yesterday. What did you do? I woke up. I did a bunch of stuff.
It's only at the beginning and end. It's like how an onward a bunch of stuff
disagree.
happens.
I think you can say that about anything. It's just you might be wrong.
Yeah, and you're wrong about the Odyssey.
I know. I'm wrong about Aquaman too.
Shut the fuck up.
The Lost Kingdom.
I was gonna say something about it.
How do you want to end this? Do you want to relate it to Aquaman from Entourage?
I was already doing that in the beginning, though.
Do you think if this was the movie that Vincent Chase was in, if it was this movie, would it have made all the money?
I don't think it could ever be this movie because this movie is shaped. That's my point. I think my point is this movie is shaped around Jason Momoa, and the other one is shaped around Vinny Chase. I think that they're both reflections of what's considered cool, and I think that is interesting when we're comparing Aquaman movies at the time. In order to make Aquaman cool, it's catering to like the current cultural perception, as opposed to Spider-Man, who is always fucking Spider-Man, Iron Man, who's always Iron Man, and Batman, who's sometimes darker and sometimes less dark, and sometimes he's bulkier and sometimes he's less bulky.
I think the thing is Aquaman is nothing. Aquaman is a blank slate that you could do anything with because there's no defined what he is.
I don't think Aquaman is nothing. I think that
he doesn't even have blonde hair in this.
I think that there
and
are
no one cared.
Things that have been carried through.
If you gave me a blonde Superman, I'd freak out.
I so would have a meltdown.
I'd be like, you can't. His hair is black.
What the fuck are you doing?
Aquaman, you changed everything about him. I'm like, that's fine. I don't care.
I don't think Aquaman is nothing. I think because our society, as accurately reflected in Entourage, rejects Aquaman, you project things onto him instead of looking for the truth in Aquaman.
I think there are no great Aquaman stories. They don't exist. I don't know what they would be. I know what the great Superman stories are. I know what the great Batman stories are. I know what the great Spider-Man stories are. They're drawing from a comic book lineage. I don't think Aquaman has that at all.
Yeah, but you know I figured it out.
I know you figured it out, but that's just a new take. That's just a new thing you're adding. That doesn't exist.
I'm not adding because I like to look at the truth of the things, and then I think that's why certain things of Aquaman throughout have stayed. Things that have survived when they come in and out is Aquaman being half Atlantean, half human has consistently survived. It's left sometimes, but it's always come back.
The fact that it can leave means it's like...
No, the fact that it comes back means that it makes sense. And so,
but if someone had a really great take on him being fully Atlantean, I think they would just do it.
I think that defeats the purpose of Aquaman.
Maybe. But the purpose of Aquaman doesn't exist. He serves the fact that they needed a seventh guy, and Ocean was good.
You say that. I think the functional importance of Aquaman is in not seeing division in the world. And I think that these movies don't do it because they're unwilling to actually address what those problems are. They would like the world to stay as it is, but change just for Aquaman himself. I think the point of Aquaman is that the things that you think are different are actually the same. It's that idea that like, oh, why do you care about the environment? I don't know, because I fucking live here. And I think that's the point of Aquaman that they're not doing. I do think that is the functional point. If Superman is about surviving, cultural, death and loss and all that kind of stuff, and coming and finding pride in where you are and in who you are and where you came from and the duality of that, if fucking...
I'm not saying that's wrong, and I do think you make a strong point. I just think that it doesn't technically actually exist. Like with Superman... those stories have been written and they are well thought out and good and executed. Whereas like Aquaman, it's like the idea of Aquaman exists, but they've never done it good.
I just think it's because we're so worried about people approving of it, and I'm not interested in people approving of it. I'm interested in the truth of it. And for approval, also, let's say you really want a mass audience, since Aquaman. Oh, I'm not talking about Batman. Since Aquaman doesn't have a huge fan base. But does have a fan base.
Has no fan base.
There's a fan base.
No one likes him.
It's more concerned with appealing to the masses than to a specific group of people. And in that, so much that you could find truth in Aquaman does get lost. I think those things are there. I do not think they are used.
I think James Cameron would have used him.
No, I think James Cameron was making Spider-Man Aquaman.
Yeah. Which
is a different thing, as I've said.
You pitched what James Cameron's Aquaman would be. It sounded more like a spy thriller.
Yeah, and I think that's
maybe it would be kind of like True Lies. You ever watch True Lies?
No, I never watched True Lies.
It's really good.
But I do think that's what it is. I think he exists in both, so he's able to do this, and Aquagirl's helping him, and James Woods is going to destroy the world, and that's why he's in a tuxedo walking down Santa Monica Pier. The only shot we see of Aquaman. I like that they could never even figure out how they would make the suit cool, so we never see it. We see the bad suit. We never see the good suit.
Well, yeah, because they're just like, obviously you would never do the suit.
I do think this is the good suit. I think this is the correct version of the suit.
I think there's a reason that it took the whole movie to get to it, because they were like...
Well, I don't want to see it the whole time.
I don't want to see it that much.
But I do think it's the correct suit.
It does. It looks good.
Yeah.
I think that's a good note to go out on.
Thank you for watching Hug It Out Bitch this week. Hopefully people stop getting married, and I'm here for a hot second, and we don't have to do any more special episodes. Even though I'm glad we got to bring this special episode. I felt like I learned a lot, and I think you should go watch The Odyssey.
I don't think Sienna heard anything I said. I'm not sure if she listened. She learned. She learned what I had to say.
I did. You said the same things over and over again, and sometimes they were honest, and sometimes they were facetious. And if they were honest, I responded. If they were facetious, I ignored them. I know you don't think that a hero should be the king because you gave a big speech about the government. I know you think that part is real.
John McCain,
unrelated government guy. So yeah, I did fucking listen to you. I do think parts are fun, but I think that makes it sinister. I do agree with you about her suit. I don't think it looks good on her, but I think the red hair is fucking worse.
I don't think it's sinister to have fun. I think having fun is a fun thing to do.
I listened to everything you said. How fucking dare you?
I don't think Sienna was listening. I think Sienna's yelling at me now. I think that if you listen...
Can I pause? Shut the fuck up. Do you actually think I wasn't fucking listening to you?
Sienna wasn't listening to me, and she's yelling at me, and I think if you've listened this far into the episode, that's really cool. We'll be back with Entourage next week.
We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.